When most people think of Jim Parsons, they immediately picture Sheldon Cooper, the quirky, brilliant, socially awkward physicist from The Big Bang Theory. For 12 seasons, Jim brought laughter to millions with his deadpan humor, eccentric expressions, and unmatched comedic timing. His performance earned him 4 Emmy Awards and a permanent place in television history. But behind that cheerful on-screen persona lies a man who has faced heartbreak, loss, and moments of deep personal struggle. Jim Parsons' journey to stardom, and his life beyond it, is not just about fame and laughter. It's also about pain, resilience, and finding peace amid tragedy. A humble beginning, and a father's tragic death. Jim Parsons was born in Houston, Texas, in 1973, into a close-knit family that always supported his creative dreams. His parents, Milton and Judy Parsons, encouraged him to pursue acting even when it seemed like an impossible career choice in their small community. But tragedy struck in 2001 when Jim's father, Milton Parsons Jr., was killed in a car accident. Jim was just beginning to find his footing in his acting career, performing in theater productions and trying to make a name for himself. The news of his father's sudden death was devastating. Years later, Jim admitted in interviews that his father's passing changed him deeply. It made him reflect on the fragility of life and the importance of doing what he truly loved. That pain, the awareness that life can be cut short, became one of the driving forces behind his relentless pursuit of success. In one emotional moment during a 2015 interview, Jim said that his father's memory is something he carries into every role. It made me realize that there's no guarantee for tomorrow. If you love something, you have to give it everything you have. Behind the laughter, Jim's secret battles with anxiety. Playing Sheldon Cooper might have looked effortless, but the role demanded incredible discipline and focus. Jim Parsons has always been open about his perfectionism, something that sometimes pushed him to exhaustion. During the Big Bang Theory's peak years, Jim began experiencing anxiety and panic attacks, often before live tapings. He was terrified of forgetting lines or losing control in front of the audience. In a candid conversation with The Hollywood Reporter, Jim once shared that fame didn't erase his insecurities. If anything, it amplified them. He described nights of restlessness and self-doubt, wondering whether he deserved the success he had achieved. That level of pressure, combined with the intense shooting schedule, slowly began to wear him down. By the time the show reached its 12th season, Jim felt emotionally drained. While fans were heartbroken when he decided to leave The Big Bang Theory, for Jim, it was a necessary step to protect his mental health. He later revealed, "It felt like if I kept going, I would start to lose myself. I needed to stop and find who I was outside of Sheldon Cooper." The pain of loss, saying goodbye to his beloved dog. For Jim, family isn't just about people, it's also about the animals he loves. During the Big Bang Theory years, Jim's beloved dog, Otis, was his emotional anchor. The two were inseparable. Jim often referred to Otis as his child and best friend. When Otis passed away in 2018, Jim was heartbroken. He shared a deeply emotional post on Instagram, expressing how much the dog had meant to him and his husband, Todd Spewak. That period coincided with a particularly challenging time in his life. The same year, his father-in-law also fell ill, and he himself suffered a minor injury that forced him to miss a performance in a Broadway play. It was a chain of emotional blows that made Jim realize how fragile everything truly was. Leaving Sheldon behind and facing the unknown. After 12 seasons, Jim made the difficult choice to leave The Big Bang Theory. Many fans assumed it was a career move, but the truth was far more emotional. Jim was exhausted, grieving personal losses and longing for change. In 2022, he admitted on David Tennant's podcast that he had reached a breaking point. During the show's final season, his dog had died, his husband's father was sick, and he was simultaneously performing in a Broadway play that demanded everything from him. Then one day, as he was walking to work, he tripped and broke his foot. That incident, though seemingly minor, became a wake-up call. Jim realized he was running on empty. He later described the moment as a whisper from the universe, telling him it was time to stop. The decision to end the Big Bang Theory wasn't just about wanting new challenges. It was about survival, emotionally and mentally. Coming out and living authentically. While Jim had been in a relationship with Todd Spewak since 2002, he didn't publicly come out as gay until 2012. He later said that it wasn't about secrecy. He simply wanted to protect his privacy. But the timing of his coming out was deeply significant. It was around the same period he began to open up about his identity and his struggles, both professionally and personally. In 2017, Jim and Todd finally tied the knot after 15 years together. Their relationship has been one of the most stable and enduring in Hollywood, built on love, respect, and humor. Still, Jim has spoken openly about the challenges of living authentically in a world that often demands perfection. His honesty about being gay, dealing with anxiety, and coping with grief has made him an inspiration to many who face similar battles. Life after fame, healing and finding joy again. Today, Jim Parsons has found a new rhythm in life. After the Big Bang Theory, he stepped away from the spotlight for a while to focus on producing, spending time with his husband, and pursuing passion projects that inspire him. He's produced and narrated Young Sheldon, the spin-off series that keeps Sheldon Cooper's legacy alive. But he's also ventured into more dramatic roles, such as in Hollywood, Netflix, and Spoiler Alert, a heartbreaking film inspired by real-life loss. These projects reflect Jim's evolving artistry and his ability to transform tragedy into storytelling that touches people's hearts. In interviews, Jim often emphasizes gratitude for his success, his loved ones, and even his hardships. He once said, "The sad moments, the losses, the doubts, they all shaped me. Without them, I wouldn't understand joy the way I do now." Conclusion: a story of strength beyond the laugh track. Jim Parsons may have built a career making people laugh, but his personal story reveals a man of incredible emotional depth. From losing his father at a young age to facing anxiety, grief, and burnout, he has endured challenges that fame couldn't erase. Yet through it all, Jim remains humble, grounded, and endlessly kind. His journey reminds us that even behind the brightest smiles, there can be pain, and that sometimes the greatest strength lies in vulnerability. Jim Parsons' story isn't just about the Big Bang Theory. It's about the quiet courage to keep going when the laughter fades and to find light again after darkness.